Is this the right house? Stalking you through the window. Well, here we are.
Oh my goodness. This is like
So crazy.
taking me back.
I know, years and
to
years.
a wonderful time of my life.
I know, and it's still wonderful because we're together and closer than ever. Andrea Robinson, everybody. For those of you who don't know the story behind this Love Fest, Andrea and I worked together at Fox 10 in Phoenix.
We worked on the air from 4:30 till 10,
Yeah.
and then you would do the noon show, 12 to 12:30.
But I remember
So we
you
spent
being
a
very
lot.
relaxed. I would run in really crazy because I'm always late.
Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah, and you would just be like leisurely makeup.
Like, it was always like every day she would run in and it would be like 18 bags and like, oh my gosh, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like, we're doing a show like we do every day. Like, we've done 5 days a week for this many years.
Yeah.
Like, but that's how, and you always got it together. And
I wouldn't say always.
well,
I had my
it
moments.
looked like you always had it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would spend the first part of our day together in the green room.
Yeah.
And those morning sessions were everything from laughing hysterically, crying,
Yeah.
to literally crying because we were just emotional, a wreck, we were overly tired.
Trying to juggle it all.
Yeah.
And you know, you and I both, I left Fox 10, it was, gosh, 2015, it really was. You left pretty recently.
Yeah,
4
in
months ago?
2018, September.
September,
2018.
okay.
So yeah, just about 5 months ago.
You know, it's not easy leaving something that really did feel like family.
Yeah.
We loved our job,
Yeah.
and we had such a good thing going on. And I think, I want to talk about why we both left, because I think the reasons are similar.
They are.
What would you say it was for you?
Well, I think, getting to the decision to leave wasn't just like an overnight decision. I woke
Yeah.
up and was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. It was an ongoing, progressive decision in the making. I would say it was a good 2 years, but definitely over the last year, really thinking hard about it.
Yeah.
But I think that you just get to a place in your life, and especially as a mom, that I know I used to, when I first started having children in this job, I would keep telling myself, okay, it'll just get easier when they're in school. When they're in school full time, they won't be babies, and this will all get easier.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't. It got harder because as they got older,
More
they were
stuff.
more stuff.
Yeah.
You really truly needed to be present. They knew when you were missing a baseball game. They knew when you couldn't make it to school for a special event.
Right.
All of those things. And so it really was the time freedom that I was chasing, the flexibility in a schedule I was chasing that I just didn't have. They're paying you to do what
Right.
they need you to do. So you can't just say, hey, today I don't feel like coming in. My kid has all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just wanted to be more available for them. I showed up for so many years for everybody else in the valley to help start their day and wake them up. And it just got to a point where I thought, how much longer can I do this? And I knew I just couldn't do it any longer.
And it really isn't a one-size-fits-all thing.
No.
I know for me, it just, you can have this gut feeling, like
Yeah.
this nagging in your spirit
Yes.
you can only deal with it so long before you need to act on it. And that's what it was for me, because in no way, shape, or form did I ever think I would walk away from something as amazing as Fox.
No.
Like, honestly, it's
was
crazy.
Great people, company was great. Like, there was nothing like that going on.
Yep, absolutely. So since then, you and I have both kind of done different things. What have you been up to?
Well, I can't stay still too long.
I know, it was so funny. Okay, hold on for a second. So Andrea, we celebrated her, retirement that lasted about 5 minutes.
She drove in for that, mind you, right? Yes.
That was so special. We had this great party.
Well, and I hated the word retirement. I'm like, I'm not retiring from like life. I'm just going away from this job now and choosing to spend more time
But you
with my
said you were
family.
gonna rest. Okay, I'm like, so you should
Rest.
definitely rest, get some R&R.
Yeah.
So you rested for like 2 days.
Yeah, it was.
And then you launched this.
It's amazing what happens when you go to sleep, 2 days in a row and you get 9 hours of sleep. Like, all of a sudden you're like, think you're She-Ra and you don't do anything. No, I knew like I had still purpose left in me. I still
course.
don't know exactly what I'm here for, besides to raise kind, little babies to become kind, nice humans that go into the world and give generously and love people and all that. And also, through the last couple of years when I was really struggling with this decision and really struggling with some personal things, just what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I don't love myself the way I should. I don't see myself the way I should. Just heavy, messy brain stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I think, had to do with just being everything to everybody and trying to do all the things.
Yes.
So I started at that point, I had started a journal practice, partly because I knew the benefit behind them, but secondly, because my husband had started this beautiful morning routine, and I saw how he was like just so happy all the time. Like, well, I want some of that, but like I don't have time. Like I wake up at 2:30, I don't have time for that. Like that was always my excuse.
I don't have time to be happy.
No, I don't have time to sit before I leave for 10 minutes and so I poo-pooed it for a long time. And then I finally decided that I would adopt a practice and that I would start a morning routine that involved a journal practice. So I did that, and I used a journal for a long time. So I thought, well, I'll just make one better. And so I made one, and I created it with guided questions and prompts. There it is.
Let me do the honors. The You Do You journal. I love the title because for as long as I've known you, you've always said, listen, you do you.
Oh.
I'll do me. You do you. And this is so special.
But doesn't it takes a lot in life to get to the place of finally, and I might have preached that for a long time, but I fell into a part of my life where I just didn't feel like I really was doing me, and I really was owning who I was and honoring that.
I am so excited about this. You're actually giving one away to
I am.
Our incredible mommy tribe here. So all you have to do is subscribe to Too Much Mom, and you'll be in the running. We'll announce the winner on next Friday's show. But thank you for that. This is incredible. So let's talk about Too Much Mom life.
Yes.
Life gets crazy. I mean, I know you have a YouTube show as well called Money, Sex, and Kids. And so we juggle money, sex, and kids. We juggle so many things, Andrea. How are you? Do you have a secret to juggling it all, or how are you getting by these days?
So I don't think that there is ever a secret to like doing it all.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can possibly do it all. Us moms are notorious for a laundry list of things, and then we don't get them done, and at the end of the day, what do you feel bad? You feel bad.
We feel short.
Yes. So 3 good things that you can do that day. 3 accomplishments. It could be as simple as cleaning the kitchen. I don't care what it is. But so like every day changes, right? It depends on where the ebb and the flow of the day is going. If your kids are needy that day, they're sick or this or that, then obviously it's going to be more focused on that. So I think I wake up every morning. The one thing that I have continued to do, I'm an early bird. I always have been, even before the morning shift.
Yeah.
But I wake up at 5. I have a good hour to myself, whether it means I'm going to work a little bit, or I'm definitely going to sit, I'm going to journal, have a cup of coffee, do a devotional, and at least center myself enough to know if I don't get any more time to myself today, I had some time, and I just feel so much more appreciative of the day.
I'm with
key.
you.
You've got to carve it out, right?
Every single morning.
And you can't say, I don't have time, because guess what? We all have 24 hours in the day. Every list of things we have to do, or every schedule is all relative. So what's busy for you might not be busy for me,
and
or
we
vice
make
versa.
time for things that are important to us as well.
And that's what you have to do. You have to start prioritizing what matters.
Yeah, and your me time in the morning, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Coffee, my Bible.
Yeah.
I pray, I read, I get my time with God, I center myself.
Yeah.
That is the strength I pour into myself so I can pour out to everyone else.
How possibly can you go and love somebody else or encourage somebody else? You can't.
We try though.
You can't.
We try to do it. That's the craziest thing, huh?
No,
We've got to stop.
Just stop. It's you know why? Because the finish line you're chasing, or that idea of this perfect life and this perfection that exists on social media, which is heavily filtered and perfectly coiffed and everything is great, it doesn't exist. So here's your news flash, breaking news, stop chasing it, you're never gonna get there. And so when you just take it all away and you're like, it's me, like this is me, some people are gonna love me, some people are not going to love me.
So speaking of social media, I don't know if you do. Sometimes I can still compare myself to other moms. I'm not gonna lie, this morning when you told me you did hot yoga at 5:30, I was like,
Damn her. I also eat cookies in the parking lot at the gym before I go in. So you want to compare to that?
No, I'm so glad you brought that up though, because we do have these days and those days, and that's all part of the beauty of this life. But comparing yourself to others sucks.
It does.
It does. Do you still do it? Do you struggle with that at all?
So what I started to do is immediately when I feel that sense of comparison come over me, or that little bit of twinge of jealousy or envy, I stop and I'm like, no, God gave her that. Like, God's blessed them with whatever it is, that vacation that we're seeing on social media, or, you know, that new car that they got. And that didn't take anything away from me. Like, my path is still set. Hers just looks different, right?
Right.
So I have to stop, and I usually have to squash the negativity and be like, okay, and even if I don't feel, I'm gonna be really honest, sometimes I don't feel it, and I know God knows your heart, and so like I have to work through that. But I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not super happy for her right now. I will get happy. I just have to talk to myself and like, okay, you know, God, you bless everybody differently, and it didn't take, and I have to like pray about it and get
there.
But it, right, like, to be honest, like, it doesn't, you can't just turn it off. We're human, right? Our nature is to look at other people and envy, and I mean, it's just how it is. We have to work to get away from that.
I have playroom envy. I see other moms' playrooms and I'm like, I hate you right now. Like, why does your playroom look like that, and why is it always clean?
I know.
Whose playroom is clean?
Well,
that's so weird.
Mine's not. So
I don't have a playroom.
You're not going to be envious of that at all.
Our playroom is the whole house. So what's next? Your kids are, how old are Carter and Kaylee? I remember Carter's first birthday and the cake smashed, and now he's like
8.
He has braces.
Now he's going to college. No, he's 8, and he is just an awesome kid. He's funny, and he's so adorable. Boys are easy.
Boys are easy. Yeah. My daughter is so sassy, and it's so funny because you told me this was coming.
The two of them need to be together.
I know.
Kaylee and Phoenix.
They're so confident. Together. I love that.
I love that. And don't you look at them and think, don't ever lose that. Because if they can go through life with that confidence and that sass and that independence, I'm like, don't let the world change you.
You know, I know, I love that we both are into celebrating each other, and I think we need to celebrate ourselves more, celebrate different moms and the different ways they mom more.
I know.
You know, and that's what this is why I created this show, is for conversations like this.
So amazing, because I think that's why so many women sit in deep insecurity and don't, you know, act out their fear and push past their fear, because they're so afraid of what, not just others think, just other women, because women are vicious at times. They're cruel and they're mean sometimes. And so instead of us just sitting there and coming up alongside and being like, hey, you're doing a good job. Right? Like, you don't have to agree with everything another mom is doing, but all she probably needs to hear and hasn't heard is, you're doing a really good job.
That's so true.
You know?
That is so
and
true.
like, how powerful is that?
It is.
Like, encouragement goes a long way in a world where there is no encouragement. It's discouragement every day, everywhere you turn.
Well, I know that we could talk literally for 10 hours.
Yeah, we could. I mean, I'm ready. We could do a marathon, like a telethon. We could start raising money for something, and we could do like acts and show. Anyway, see, this is what happens.
I love where this is going. Maybe we should do like a 2-part episode. Is there anything we didn't cover that we need to talk about?
We covered. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because the things that you're doing, you are courageous and you're brave and you've faced fears, and you do it with such a deep faith. And I mean, I think that's what both of us have talked about before, is like, if you don't have a rooted like faith in something, right, in someone bigger than you, us, God, then like none of this is possible, right? Like we when we don't believe in ourselves, He believes in us. So we're going to make it happen. And it might not look like our plan, but His plan's great. It's going to be awesome. It's
always better.
But like what you're doing, you're giving permission to other women to be like, that idea I had, I'm going to do it. She did it, I'm going to do it. Like, she did it, it's working out, and I'm sure it's hard, but like, look at how happy you are.
You know what? Everything you just said, I'm turning it around and saying it back to you. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You do you. You're doing it. You guys also will get one of these babies. All you have to do is subscribe to Too Much Mom, and we'll pick a winner on next Friday's show. Andrea, I love you. I am here for you always, and I'm so happy that you came on the show today.
I love you. Thank you so much for having me.
I love you too. And now to our busy kid tip of the day. It's the only system where your kids complete chores, manage allowance, and invest in stock. Busy Kid. Download it now for Android and iPhone.